Every hand's a winner, every hand's a loser. You just don't know which is which. And
He's only just started. This is his intro. His music-free intro after he discovered that it was copyright-free, so he's took the music off.
Enjoy life.
So now it doesn't make any sense, all this talking about gambling, because it was attached to a song, and now he's removed the song because it's copyright.
That's forever.
Oh no, here's the song. It's not, nothing's happening yet. How do you know he's talking about trolls? Did he say he would? Someone in a wheelchair coming down the stairs there from Netflix. What the fuck's that got to do with it? What's that got to do with it? Run from Alan. Run away from Alan, he's creepies! Run away from Alan, he's creepies! It's making me feel all cringy and creepies. Look, without the music... Even with the music, why has he just stolen that Netflix? They're having sex! They were having sex! Oh my god! They were having sex. The water's gonna come off. She's tied to the bed. She's tied to the fucking bed. Oh my god, she's tied to the bed. The dog bit her! Oh my fucking god! Oh my fucking god! She's a zombie! It's him, it's Shutter Island! It's Shutter Island! Oh my god! It's Leonardo DiCaprio! It's Shutter Island! No, she's none of it's real, it's Shutter Island! Have I not seen this before and I've not paid attention? What's going on? It's Leonardo DiCaprio! It's Leonardo DiCaprio! What was he doing? Was he out there with Gollum on the thing? Who's that? She's touching herself up! That was Misery! That woman was touching herself! Oh my god! Oh my god! Oh my god! What's happening? There's a tarantula! There's a tarantula! What's that? I got Netflix on! There was a tarantula! Wait! What's happening now? What's this? Who's that? What's she smoking? Who knows? You got to know where to hold them, know when to fold them, and know when you're fucked in the head. Crime genre. Every question. There was a tarantula. This is Netflix. This is a Netflix. What is Alan doing? What is Alan doing? What is he doing? Solve the crime of the tarantula on the woman, from the girl in the wheelchair and the lady that was tied to the bed, and there was someone shotgun, and there was an explosion. Oh my god. I never usually watch that, I just ignore it. Oh my god. Someone shot a gun and there was an explosion.
There we are, nice and relaxed Sunday night. How are you? I've got a lot of time to spend with you tonight, so I thought I'd start early. Why not, for a change? Start early. I'm going to do a Patreon after this as well. Oh look, my picture is screw it. Not much I can do about it.
You can't fix your picture.
Right, tonight's show is about...
It's worse.
...future that's facing you that you don't look at. And
look at his clothes.
It's not a nice future.
Why is he wearing that?
We all have children and grandchildren, and it's time we started thinking about them, not ourselves.
He's talking quickly. We all have children and grandchildren.
Went to war in the Royal Navy to save this country.
What's up with his hair? Yeah, what's going on with him?
How many would be prepared to do that now?
He looks... I can't quite place what he's dressed like.
Not in vogue to be a patriot. It's not in vogue to even have a flag of... Oh, you have a flag of Palestine. Not a great...
He's not doing trolls. He's gone straight into racism.
No. USA. No. So how are we going to raise an army then? When we're told that we're guilty of all this slavery legacy stuff and how we've done this and we've done that.
Got the Hitler painting on the wonk.
The whole family's this, the whole family's that. You should be ashamed to be British. Well, I'm not.
What's he on about how we're going to raise an army? We've just spent the last 20 years bombing the fuck out of all those countries out there. You ask Syria what it's like, can we raise an army? Ask people in Afghanistan, can we raise an army? You spend fucking 20 years bombing the fuck out.
That's right. We're in a war now.
The beginning was something, well, we can't still, because of the way this rumble is, I can't scroll back to the beginning, can I? No. So. Great.
What do you think happened in the 40s when the black shirts went through London marching?
And now he's doing this. I can't watch this. That's what he looks like. He looks like Johnny Knoxville tonight. Look, watch. Watch, look. I'm going to screenshot that. Wait, let me just move this over so I can get a better screenshot. I'm going to screenshot that. You got to know when to hold 'em. Know when to fold 'em. Know when you're a fucking twat. Oh, this is quality. Oh dear. Oh dear. How'd you spell Knoxville? How'd you spell Knoxville? Sorry, it's making me laugh now. It's making me laugh now. Alan is Johnny KKK Knoxville, Knoxville, but Alan Vinicum. There you go. Johnny Knoxville, Alan Vinicum. Sorry, I snorted. I'll get back to him, but at the end we can skim through it, can't we? We can do it at our leisure when he's finished. But no, you can't. You've got to allow me this. Look, it's like a shit Johnny Knoxville. He's a proper jackass, I tell you.
Same thing's happening to London now. Okay, most of the people.
I paused. Like, I got some save up juice. I paused.
Spent on poker.
Oh no!
I didn't.
There we go.
I didn't. But it's none of your business anyway.
We did.
What is your business?
Liar.
Is to stop doxing where I am in the UK all the time.
What your business is? So you were there then?
Against me, that it's dangerous.
You were there then?
I've had to move house twice.
The man said that you were there on the commentary, you fucking knob.
Until I stop breathing, you're not going to stop. And even if I stop breathing, you won't stop. I know of a certain other person that's no longer with us.
Bam Bam.
Trolls have invaded her obituary site. That's just like...
Trolls have not invaded her obituary.
Is there no low?
What?
Is there absolutely no low at
all
that they will go to? It's weird.
I bet that was you, Alan. I bet that was you.
Evidence about this commentary thing into my file. I've got a massive file
commentary thing
on what the trolls have done to me. This is just one more little chapter. And they say they have a page that says no hate, and it's full of hate.
I'll tell you what, there's not so many of his
bile
ladies in the chat at the moment. Maybe he's lost a couple.
And it's all there for the judge to see. The people that are running it, same on YouTube, the people that are running the channel.
I'm enjoying my background music and he's so fucking quiet because he won't talk into the microphone. Look at where it is.
Because it helps me. So I advise you to keep doxing me. No, I don't. Don't dox me. I advise you to keep hating me.
I've got your address.
Told to. Because you're part of a team.
You posted it on the internet.
Right, on we go. Tony Blair, George Bush, W.W. Bush.
Oh, he stopped again.
Decided that the Middle East had to get a load of bombs dropped on it, and get rid of Saddam Hussein and Gaddafi. And
he's got no idea about this, right? He's got no idea. You know, I showed you Adam Smith documentary the other day. Hypernormalization talks about this. Black Bitter Lake talks about this. He's got no idea. Don't even pretend to me. There's no point in platforming his absolute shit. A while ago, they decided to drop some bombs, and then it went like this, and then this happened. Like, he's got no idea.
The strongest are going to take over. And the strongest are terrorists who are funded by other countries to take over that country, right?
Right, yeah. I can't listen to this nonsense. So you can do Dover's News Network on it if you want, but we got that out of it. I mean, that's the joy. But what he just said then is to do, he wanted people to dox him. What is he thinking doing that as an intro? There was a woman doing a touching herself. There was someone having sex. A dog bit a woman's leg. She was chained to a bed. A man shot a gun and there was an explosion. Like, what's that got to do with any of it? And through all of it, there was the Netflix logo in the bottom corner as well. And then after that, it's this guy in that plaid shirt, like looking like a proper twonker, talking shit about Islams.
It's not hard. You invade a country, whether you're Nordic, Roman, or anything, Orange men, whatever you are.
Yeah, you're a product of all that, Alan. You're a product of the Nordic and the Roman and all that. That's what you are. You're not the original British people, so you can fuck off as well.
That's what they used to do. Apart from now, when they know they can't beat us militarily. So why not just take over the whole damn country by flooding us with another religious population?
Because there's not enough of them to flood the country with. There's 70 million people here already, and in the vast majority, right, UK population demographics. So 80% of the population is white, right? 80%. So if you want to take over, you're going to have to be the dominant racial, you're talking about immigrants coming from another country. You're going to have to outweigh 59.6 million people. Okay, they're not all of fighting age, they're not all fighting, but there's 60 million people, let's say, rounding it up, yeah? As by the time, because this is 2021, so by now there'll be more, yeah? Because despite what they're trying to tell you about people dying and stuff, there's more people being born. Like, we're fine with having fucking loads of people, and most of them are white, yeah? People from Asian backgrounds make up the second largest, 9.3. So that's not Arabic, that's not the Islams. It could be, some Asian people are Islamic, some white people are Islamic. But then we've got black 4%, mixed 2.9, and other 2.1. So if you are going to flood the world, or UK, with Arabic people, are we talking about Muslim in general, or just like, ultimately you've got a fucking long way to go because you've been bringing them in by the thousand, right? So let's look at it like this. Let me do this. Quick one. Let's have a Google calculator. Bear in mind, we're trying to add up somewhere in the region of 40 million people. We need about 40 million people to start even attempting to sort of outweigh or tip a balance here, yeah? We need about 40 million. So we've got, let's say, 10,000. Like, how many come over by a boat every day? How many come over? Anyone tell me? Do you want to put a big number on it? Let's be really generous. Let's have 10,000 a day, yeah, by 7 days a week. That's 70,000 times it. I mean, this is extremely. There's not 10,000 a day, are there? This is extremely ridiculous. Times that by 52 weeks. That's big numbers, isn't it? How many is that? Oh, it's nowhere near enough. Is that 3 million? It could be 3 million. Yeah, we're talking we need 40 million. And that's a year at 10,000 a day. There's not 10,000 a day. There's a lot less than that, isn't there? A lot less. That's like, we have 10,000 a year, don't we? Like how many? Okay, let me just quickly check. UK. Are we talking about, we can't be talking about normal immigration because those people have got papers and stuff. So we're talking about UK illegal immigration statistics. Let's just give me a quick statistic. 50,000 in the UK. At the moment, there are 50,000. Right? It's up 17%. There are 50,000. 50,000. Well, we need 40 million. 50, 1, 2, 3. That's total right now. Right? That's not enough, is it? Like, if you put a 0 on it, 10 times that amount, that'd be 500,000. That's not enough. You need 100 times more. It's quite a lot more people. You're not going to get them in on little boats. It's simply not possible. Do you understand what I'm saying? The number of people we're talking about. Like, if you take, because we're talking, let's just say a rough estimate to even tip a balance is 40 million, yeah? 1, 2, 3. We've got 4, that's 40, that's 4, wait, that's 40,000. So I need to put another 1, 2, 3 on that. That's 40 million, yeah. Right, let's divide that by 50, 1, 2, 3, 1,000. We need 800 times more people. Like, this, it's not going to happen. It can't, like, do you understand what I'm saying? If you understand statistics and numbers, if you understand numbers, if you can get a grasp on numbers, there are simply not enough people coming in illegally to make a dent on that number. It's simply not, like, if you want to start balancing and tipping the balance, you're going to have to do something better than little boats. It's simply not possible.
They're bringing their problems with them. But we here, well, I don't know America, but in the UK, we consent to policing by consent. We let the police order us around. We do what we're told. You see us in bus queues queuing up. You see us.
That's not what policing by consent means. They are the community. They're not like a separate army. Like, it's a fundamental principle that underpins democratic societies. Like, we make the laws that the police then uphold, policing by consent. It doesn't mean that in our country we let the police do things and we just don't argue.
You see how? Let me show you how scary they are, right?
Not as scary as your intro sequence where that woman had her leg bitten off by the dog.
Get, a little, if you're in America, you might not know what it's like here yet. Charlotte Church is on it now. You remember Charlotte Church? She's a singer, right? She's joined the marches in London. Well, it's okay, I suppose. But the pro-Palestine protests are scary.
You're right.
And they will march in any street, not just London. And they scare children. And they're intimidating.
There's children on the marches.
And if you try...
They're trying to save children.
Reason when they shout you down. If you try having a flag...
Oh, get fucking bent.
They take it off you.
GB News on YouTube.
It's got scary. Reason when they shout you down. If you try having a...
He searched for London marches, Islam, police need to act. He's such an arsehole. I'm not listening to that. He's such an arsehole. But like, I'm glad that we took on the topic just like with a bit of brain work, because we looked at how many numbers there are of people in the UK, and since there are 60 million white people, and you're talking about an like secret army creeping in and usurping the locals, we looked at the numbers. It's not that every local person is going to take up arms, but even if a half of the local people decided to take up arms, you'd have an army of 30 million people. So like a quarter of that would be 15 million people. Like, that's just the people who are prepared to just suddenly take up arms, and in response to that, you'd have 50,000. Like, I don't think people understand the difference between 1 million and 100,000. I don't think they can perceive it in their minds and see it properly. So let's have a look at Reckful doing a little video for us that's about something slightly different that helps, though, because this is a way of like visualizing certain things that always stays with me, and I love Reckful. So if I can shout him out a little bit, I think I will. Where is the video with the moneys? What $1 billion looks like?
Dude, I tripped everyone out today. And I'm going to do it one more time because you didn't see it, Conrad. Ready? I'm ready. Okay, watch this. Conrad, everyone knows this and you know it too, but when you see it, it's different. Ready?
I like your ponytail.
Here is $100,000, Conrad. Here, there it is. That's a lot of money. That's what we can hope at best to make in a year. You know, doing really fucking well after taxes. That'd be crazy to make in a year, right?
Right.
That's a lot of money. All right.
That is.
Now we have someone named Amhai who is top Twitch donator of all time. He has like probably $1 billion.
He's doing it on this little notepad here. So what I'll do is I'll quickly, I'll move Rectful over just so you can see. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, yeah? 60,000 people. And we need to tip the balance. It was 80,000. It was 80, but like we need to tip the balance. We want 40 million immigrants to like fight them off, yeah? Like to cause this tipping of the balance. And we're saying that at the moment there's 50,000 in the UK, yeah? So to make 1 million immigrants, we need how many there are right now. Right now, the total. Actually, we need a better number. We need how many are coming in per year, don't we? Oh no, that was detected entering. That was per year. Okay, so we're talking 50,000, yeah. So we need copy and paste 50,000. That's 100,000, 200,000, 300,000, 400,000, 500,000, 600,000, 700,000, 800,000, 900,000, 100,000. That's 1 million, isn't it? So now we need that 2 million, 3 million, 4 million, 5 million, 6 million, 7 million, 8 million, 9 million, 10 million. Bearing in mind we're trying to get to a figure to tip the balance, and this is 1 year's worth of immigration. How many years do we need? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Each million is 20 years. At this rate, it's going to be 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20. Did we say? 20 years? I don't know. That's 20 years. Isn't it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11? Yeah, that's 20 years. So 200 years to do 1 million people. Okay, but we need to do 40 million people. So I'm going to copy that. This is the fallacy of the immigration. This is the fallacy of what they're talking about. So I copy that, right? And now I'm going to do 1, 2, 3. That's another 300. Sorry, it's another 600 years. We're now at 800 years down the line, and we've imported this number of people to start tipping the balance. Look at how many years and how many people and how many immigrants. And these are in lots of 50,000 a year. Do you see the number? Do you see the difference? Do you see how stupid it is to suggest that they could be secretly bringing in an army at these numbers, at this rate? To get anywhere near the local population, that's 80% of the population is white. I said 40 million. I said reach 40 million, you might tip the balance. Because we've got 80 million of us here. Like, you know, there's 60 million of us. I say us. There's 60 million white people. Like, I mean, like, you know, British people, whatever. Like, people who don't want Sharia law and everything to be bad and, you know, whatever. Do you see how many different, like, we just looked at the statistics. Look at that. That represents 800 years at 500,000, at 50,000 a year. So you could double the amount of immigration, halve this number, and it would still take 500 years to tip the balance. Yeah? Does that make sense to everyone? Like, that is how fucking stupid Alan is and what he's saying. Is if you understand numbers. It's not like, because Alan doesn't really, I don't think, maybe there's something wrong with him, but he doesn't really think that 400, you know, it's just zeros, isn't it? Zeros on zeros, 40 million or whatever. But like, this is what it looks like in terms of, have I got this wrong? Is my maths wrong? I don't think it is it? It's just, when you see it written out like that, and like, check this out, right? Let's say next week we did kill all the immigrants. Let's take this right back to today. Let's delete all these, right? today, right? Next year we have same amount of immigrants again, yeah? Same amount again. And we kill them all. Boom, they're all gone now. What difference does it make to a population of 80 million? Let me show you that a different way. 100,000 people. Yeah, that's 100,000. Let's copy that and paste it. There's 200,000, yeah? There's 4. There's 8. That's 100,000 people now. That's a million people, yeah? In hundreds of thousands. Isn't it? 100,000, 1 million, 2 million, 3 million, 4 million, 5 million, 6 million, 7 million, 8 million, 9, 10 million people. Copy and paste that. 20 million. I'm going to put a space between them so it makes it easier to see. Oh no, I'm not accidentally. 30 million, 40 million, 50 million, 60 million, 70 million, 8. Do you know what I mean? Like, that's how many people we've got. Like, look at me scrolling up. Yeah? Look at this. Look at all these people in the hundreds of thousands. Right, now let me take out 100,000 immigrants. Let me just delete them. Just delete them, look. That's society's problem solved then. I just deleted them, look, they've gone. No more immigrants at all. Now you've just got all these people with the same problems that they've had since yesterday. There is no way 50,000 people coming into this mix can cause a big upset of problems. No way. This is what I'm on about, like, bus them in. Like, let me add to that another, like, all these people here, I'm going to take another, like, we have 50,000 a year coming in. So let me just copy 100,000 here, right? This represents 2 years worth of immigration. You ready? There you go. Did you notice the difference? Look, all these people, all these, I'm going to add another 2 years worth of immigration. You ready? Boom. Did you notice the difference? No, because it's a drop in the fucking ocean. And I just added in 4 years worth of immigration overnight into our society. And it's a drop in the ocean. It doesn't matter. Oh, in human terms, one-on-one terms, if you come off a boat, it's quite important. It matters to you. You've got, you know, issue. Oh, someone has to pay for this. Imagine the tax. Imagine the system. Imagine the economy. A number of 50,000 immigrants a year is not your problem. The problem is that the Conservative government can't take all of these people and all of the tax money and all of the money from all the stuff they buy and all the money from all the jobs they have and all the tax from all that and make it work. They've got to turn around and say, oh, no, wait, look, we need to remove those people. There you go. Now it's your society's fixed. Let me just scroll down. Look, we're going to remove these people here. Get rid of them. They're your problem. You're angry at them. They're your problem. Gone. Now we're fixed. It's just ridiculous, isn't it? Isn't it absolutely ridiculous? God bless you, Reckful. I'm going to put that in the edit. I'm going to, cut that there talking about Alan and his rubbish. Hopefully that will make the edit and we'll put it up on YouTube. But that point there is, I might have to cut that at the end and just cut that as a separate one. Or I'll bring it up again and I'll do it like this again sometime. Because that really makes the point, doesn't it? It really makes the point. And there you're even doing it in integers of 100,000. Like, if you make it the same number, like, there are hundreds of thousands of in a group. Like, 100,000's a lot. But as part of a population of 80 million. So there you go. The statistics don't bear up. It doesn't make sense. And if you're fooled by all this nonsense on the telly to thinking it makes a big difference and it's really important, like, we need to go out and sort this problem out and vote because of it, then you're fooled, aren't you? Because I've just shown you that it's not as important as everything else. The rest of the economy and all this other stuff that's going on, these other hundreds of thousands of people that represent you and your interests, forget that. Let's talk about a tiny, tiny fraction. And imagine this as well, people going on about trans issues. Imagine how many trans people there are that have, going in the toilets this year. Like, how do you fix that society? How do you fix your rest of your society by dealing with that? It just doesn't touch the sides. It's an issue for the trans person that went to the toilet and for the person that was in the toilet maybe or whatever. But for this, it's not. We're talking about governing the society and the economy, and they're trying to pretend to you that if they went in and did this, it would fix it. And it wouldn't, because of all of this. It's not going to fix it at all. Imagine talk about benefits and like, you know, we have to pay them to live in hotels and we have to pay them for this and pay them for that. The immigrants, right? Okay, I'll remove all of the immigrants now. You ready? Look, all of the immigrants there, gone. Okay, what about all these other people that are on benefits? Oh, they're local people who deserve them. Well, there are fucking loads more of them, aren't there? So maybe we need to address other factors of society other than the immigrants. Because, look, the immigrants are not the burden on society. All these people, all this society, you wouldn't be able to tell me if I added another 2 years worth of immigration like that. I'll scroll up, now I'm going to scroll down, now pick out the immigrants, where are they? Oh, that's the problem, you can't find them, you can't send them back. That's the point, it's diluting this massive population. It doesn't cause the problems people think it does, or they pretend to you that it does. It just doesn't. And they're not going to be able to stir up an army and invade. Not on these numbers. Look, I'll put them in again. Trojan horse, you ready? Boom, there they are. Oh no, they've started to spread out and cause problems. All right, we'll delete them then. Job done. Like, hello. Yeah, I'll cut that. I'll cut that and put it up on the internet. Childbirth statistics, whatever. Like, there's 80% more white people in the UK. It's never going to, like, it would take 200 years. It would take 400 years or 800 years. Exponential growth or whatever. We've got white people as well doing that. So it's never like, it's not like, oh, like, well, one person equals 4 people because they have kids, and then that equals 8 people because they have kids, and then, yeah, okay, people have kids, and then those kids might mix with our society and integrate, and then you won't be able to tell who's, and then it'll just be fine. Like, it's not the case that, like, society is going to be taken over. You could do this graph again probably the same way, like I said, with birth rates and stuff and the population. Like, I'm sure if you modelled the population, like, maybe we need a more complicated population modelling program that I could look at, but I've just shown you here, so I think I'm not arguing that you're arguing with me or anything. I'm just bringing up childbirth as well, just in case anyone might think, yeah, but there's this. No, there's no way. And America's like, imagine the population of America. And you can't say, oh, well, black people or Hispanic people count as immigrants and therefore they're bad. Like, they're all Americans in America, aren't they? Like, imagine the population of America and you're talking about the amount of people coming over the Texan border. Like, it's bizarre. But these are the conversations they want you to have. They want you to take this whole big thing here, all these numbers, right, and just zoom in on this. Look, what they want you to do is take all those numbers and they want you to just zoom in on, this is what they're doing. This is what Alan's doing on his show right now. He's just taking all of that, all of the life, all of the world, all of the problems, and just zooming in on this and making that really big. And that's not the reality. And that's even 2 years worth of immigration, but that's not even the reality. And not all immigrants want to come and cause problems. You know what I mean? But that's not all the reality, is it? So what you're actually doing is, you're missing what's important for the rest of the population. Like, you're missing all of this. And that's them skanking you, ripping you off, taking your tax money, messing you about. You don't see it because you're more pedantically determined to keep focusing, and you've got to keep focusing on that little tiny number now, because I'm making it a bit more realistically sized and I'm scrolling through. It's gone. You got to keep focusing on that blue number. Remember to vote because of that. You know, I keep saying I'm going to stop and cut it, but I think I've made a really good point there. Yes, so I will stop and cut it. You be good. That's a bit of Alan for the internet. If you can't be good, you're naughty, and we'll check back with Alan now to see what he's doing, but he's going to be bad. So I don't know why I would. He's watching the news. Well, he's watching the news. I'm not watching that. In fact, what am I even doing there with his show on? Bye. R.I.P. Wreckful. Good point, Betty Boo. Like, the thing is, right, I agree with exactly what you're saying there, and that is usually my point of contention, is like, people are people. So if they come here and want to contribute, good on them. There are shit people who are born here who don't want to contribute. They end up in prison doing horrible crimes. So there's no rule hard and fast, you're born white, you're born British, you get to be a good person. It's not like that. So I'm willing to give people the benefit of the doubt. Whereas the other point I was making then, though, was even if every one of them was a terrorist, Even if every one of the 50,000 people they suggest have come here illegally was a terrorist, even if, and you doubled it, you still couldn't have a problem for another 200 years, 500 years, 800 years. Not a serious one, not a real one. And if you couldn't solve that problem as 800 years pass, do you know what I mean? I just think it's a ridiculous fallacy to even argue the case. And people who have got too focused on it, too wrapped up in it, think they're clever, talking about immigrants and having opinions. But if they don't realise what I just showed them, like, you know, I see what I just showed with those numbers. I see it like Alan says, magically in my mind. You know, I just understand it like that. And I'm not saying other people are stupid, but I think I can't understand why they don't understand it, why it means so much to them, why they think it's so important. Because when you just look at it's like being on the beach and saying someone has made a very small divot in the sand there, a very small divot, and they've like done a little bit of wee in the sand or something, yeah? And I'm like, okay, that's bad. But this is the whole beach. So like, if you were to just spend time fixated on that one small square inch of ground in the whole beach, you're going to have a bad day. But we can just go and enjoy like, eventually what's going to happen is the sea's going to wash over and that's just going to be gone, and it's not even but you know, the piss hole is now their focus, and like whatever it is. I mean, it's just a weird analogy that I'm giving there, but it's all out of context. Everything's out of perspective, and they don't see it, so they're focused in on something weird. And like that's the thing that annoys me the most. When you start arguing the actual point they're making, oh, immigrants are bad or immigrants are good. You know, I'm not arguing whether they're good or bad. I'm arguing whether it's important right now. Oh, it's totally important. It's Britain. Britain's going to become... No. Look at the reality and the numbers. Is this the big problem? Do you know what I mean? Like, it's like going into a burning building and saying, well, that picture's crooked. Let's make sure we fix up the picture. The building's on fire. Like, economics is going on. The Tories are ravaging the country. You know, you haven't got energy bills versus heating or eating or whatever. No, the building's on fire. The picture's crooked. Little picture there, crooked. We're in a 20-story building. It's all on fire. I want to fix the little crooked picture. Can we get that picture out? I don't like the colour of the people in the picture. Like, it doesn't matter. We need to fix the real problems in society. So that's my issue with that. Alan's back on full screen, is he? I don't know why he's really shit tonight, and he's spoiling my own fun, to be honest, by being so disgusting. But at least I got some good content out of it like that. But
worse than that, what's going on, right?
And the thing is, right, he's revealed, I think he actually believes this shit and he's into it. I don't think he's just trying to whip up a load of nonsense. So he's that stupid that he would believe it and then preach it. Like, he's the worst kind of stupid, and we already know Alan's the worst kind of stupid. So here's another question to ask yourself. If you agree with Alan's politics, which I don't think anyone in our clan, you know, in our group does, but if anyone did and they're thinking, well, hang on, Alan's right about this one though. You know, if you're watching My Battery Exhaust and you think, oh, hang on though, Alan's right about this immigration, then hello, there's your barometer. Have a little think. Alan's not right about anything, so...
And claim political asylum? Now I ask you, why don't they do that? I ask you a simple question. Why don't they say £4,900 and just fly over and say, my name's so-and-so, I want political asylum? Why? No one's thrown out. We know they don't send anybody back. No one gets sent back. So why don't they just catch the plane? Can anyone tell me why that is?
I think it's a bit of a...
I'll tell you why. Because if they come by plane, they have to show a passport at their end and have to have their real name. And when they get to this end, they have to show a passport and we know where they are.
So what if
they
don't have a
want
passport?
us to know their names. They can't give us their names. They're the worst drags of society from the whole of the Middle East.
So what if they don't have
They
a
might
passport?
have been released from prison. They might be murderers. They might be terrorists. They might be...
There might be family men who have escaped a dangerous war who want to make sure they can get over a continent. Like, you know, it's not an easy ride. And once they get here, they then apply for asylum and bring their family over.
Right, 1,000 men come across.
1,000.
They got no passports. How do you know?
1,000. It doesn't matter. You could have 10,000 if you want. Bring 100.
With a horse,
It doesn't
you look at their
matter.
background. How many races it done?
Bring 100,000 angry armed militants. Line them all up on the beach. It might seem like a lot. Have them run into the country and try and cause trouble. They're very quickly going to be dispersed amongst the population and shut down by the local police force and army. Like, you got really, really confusing numbers. You're really confused about what is big numbers and small numbers. Go and have a go on the poker chips. Stack up 80 million and then get 100,000 and see it in balance. You're a nutter. You're a proper nutter.
Now, I know that if you take drugs, you can't get a visa to America.
You can't.
These are coming in, and you don't know what they are. America's worse. They're letting in millions of them. Millions of them with no passports.
Dehumanising.
Millions of them. And they're mostly men. What happens if there was a war?
They would
And
lose.
there's 20 million of these men.
How are you going to get
West
20 million?
Europe.
How are you going to get 20 million in here? I just did the numbers. That's going to take 200 years at this rate. No, it's 500 years at this rate.
The 10 million money you got in America, you must have 10 million of them in America. And Chinese, Canada, Ireland, Germany, Sweden. Millions of them.
There's not.
You don't know where they are.
There's literally not millions of them.
Are they going to fight for you?
They did in the war against Germany. A lot of Islamic people, a lot of all different cultures and races fought in the war for us against Germany. And when we backed Osama bin Laden and the Al Qaeda to fight off Russia in Afghanistan, we armed them and supplied them, and the Muslims fought on the same side as us, and we fought on the same side as the Muslims in Chechnya and Bosnia. So you can fuck off, basically.
Or are they going to fight for the other side? I don't know. I know what would have happened 40 years
Who's the other side?
50 years ago. They'd all fight for us.
Oh my! There you go. Because they are us.
Why is America letting in millions of them?
America's not letting in
12
millions
million
of.
in America.
What do you want about?
Can you imagine a war with 12 million of a secret army?
There's not a
In your
12
country
million strong secret
that either
army.
won't fight for you or will fight you.
Every American's got a gun.
In the war, right? We went in war with Germany. We had German citizens here.
Yeah.
What did we have to do to all the German citizens when we declared war on Germany? What do you think we did with all the German citizens?
Treat them like
Why they put
humans.
them out on one of our little islands, or we put them in compounds?
We did. There were care taken
We
with.
rounded
certain-
them all up
Well,
because we couldn't trust them because they're German. The Germans fighting us. What are you going to do if the Russians come?
yeah, but we literally, Alan.
You've got these people that hate our country.
Alan, the Russians. You'd have to round up the Russians then, wouldn't you? Alan, we literally have been at war with Afghanistan and we didn't round up all the Afghanis. We've been at war with Iraq and we didn't round up all the Iraqis. In fact, we went to war with Iraq and we didn't Nadim Zahawi come over from Iraq with his dad and then grow up and become the Chancellor of the Exchequer. So you're a bit late on the, oh my God, they're going to take over thing. You're not understanding how the world works. You're not understanding how an integrated humanity operates. You think that we should all go back to being English whites and French people and Arabs over there and all different. You've lost your fucking marbles. This is bizarre.
Where are you going to lock them up? What are you going to do with them? It's going to be a bloodbath. And it's by design.
The only bloodbath by design
Stand with any-
is when the right wing stamps its boot down on these immigrants and starts doing horrible, anti-humanitarian things to them because everyone's so whipped up in an anger that they're the big vile enemy. And it's easy to do because there's only a few thousand of them.
Having affairs and driving to meet people, and they never took any notice of COVID. We did.
You didn't, you fucking scumbag.
This will be the same.
Well, I don't know if he did actually. I don't know if he did, but there were a lot of white people who went around having parties in houses and stuff, and you wanted everyone to spray actually, didn't you? I mean, you're confusing me because now you were saying that it was all. Anyway, look, forget that.
A minute, but at the moment, I'll get to the last bit in a minute. But the moment, it's about the boats, right?
It's about the boats now.
What about the boats then?
Why am I watching this?
Let's have a look at what they're doing to my country.
My country. It's not your country. We'll take our country back from arseholes like you. You can go and live in the sea, you fucking dick.
How do we actually even think this is okay? Migration. 686 immigrants. Migrants arrive in one day.
The people of Portland and Dorset are angry.
Yeah, and I've taken this on. Watch, they're angry because they voted for Brexit, and the people that they voted for didn't fucking sort out any of their problems. They made them worse so they could make them angry so they could vote a certain way again. If you want to sort this out, you need to build immigration centres, you need to have port patrols, you need to have, like, you know, boats going up and down. And it's not a great big barge like that, like a prison to house them in, and it's not put them in chuffing hotels, is it? You know, you could have an organised border force. The border's not that vast, and it could easily be policed. And then you'd create jobs, and you'd create, you know, you'd building projects, and like the people would, as I've said, they'd come through the integration centres then and either be rehomed, rehoused. You know, you wouldn't just dump them all off, like 600 people come in a boat, there you go. We've got no facility for it because we didn't put in any fucking facilities for it. So.
The country was built on immigration.
Friday saw the highest number of migrants arriving into the UK after crossing the Channel in a single day so far this year. More than 600 men.
But it's not. There's women and children there, and they always say that it's not women and children. Well, there's women and children. So get fucked.
Their lives to reach Britain's shores. Stopping the boats is now one of the Prime Minister's key priorities. And
right, you're going to have to solve the economics of the world then, aren't you?
To cut the eye-watering £6.8 million a day hotel bill for housing.
£6.8 million a day hotel bill. That's going straight into the pockets of the Conservative people who donated to the Conservative Party. And I can prove it if you go to Conservative Party donors, hoteliers, for example. Hotel tycoon who stopped donating to Tories gives party 10 grand. Rocco Forte backs Wickham MP. I mean, that's a bizarre old one, but, you know, a random. 20% of Tory donations come from property tycoon.
And when the dinghy sets sail, their charity handlers come back to England and they're waiting for them here at Dover, and then meet them. So it's okay.
Well, at least there's someone to meet them instead of us having a proper agency to deal with it then, yeah?
We've got it organised, and they organise somewhere to stay for them. And honestly...
And the charity's having to pick up and do that because our government didn't work it out.
£1 million market trafficking these people into our country. You don't have to believe me, but it's true. It really is true. We're being overrun on purpose.
Right, I've proved that we're going to win like 500 years from being overrun, yeah?
Purpose. I'm getting to the point now. What is the purpose?
I'm watching it over.
It's not just here. The bankrupting cities are all across America. Literally bankrupting states.
This federal intervention that local government is being asked to subsidize.
Right, again, if you think you can bankrupt America's economy with immigration, then you're off your fucking nut, because America's economy has grown founded on immigration. I mean, obviously slave labour was a big part of it, but like, do you know what I mean? Like, ask New York if immigration was positive or negative to New York. Like, it's just ridiculous. And this number, look at them. Like, do you think that number of people can actually dramatically economically affect like a state like Texas or something? It's bizarre. And they're talking about being unsustainable and stuff. Like, it's easy to state these words and to make it look bad, because when you look at a group of people like that, it looks like a lot. But when you understand things properly, and also they've all been corralled there all together, haven't they? So they've been put there to be a lot, to look like a lot. But like, if you took them and said, right, you two are off into this place, you two are off into this place, and like, you know, spread them out a bit across the state, you wouldn't even be able to spot them. I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing, integration like that, because maybe people want to stick together, and like, you know, in America you've got all sorts of communities that grew together, so maybe you don't want to integrate just like that, one at a time, spread out. But it's our principle, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's just bizarre. They're talking numbers now.
Those seeking asylum. The city of Chicago spent over $194 million on its new arrivals mission since October 2022.
And like, you should be spending this sort of money on this thing if you've got money and people coming in. Like, social money should go into the people at the lower end of society being integrated and becoming part of society, because it improves the amount of money you have to spend next year. Like, if they get jobs and settle in, then they provide more tax revenue. So that's like a win.
Denver is estimated to have spent between $36.3 million.
Yeah, they don't, and your town isn't coping with the influx on services, agreed. And they want that to be the case, so they can turn around and say, well, the services aren't very good, you might want to have private hospitals. Oh, immigrants are bad, you might want to get rid of them completely, that will fix your problems. And then you'll get rid of, you can turn, as I've shown you, you can get rid of the immigrants. Were you here just earlier when I did the, Rach, were you here when I showed you the numbers? Were you here when I showed you these numbers? Like, you can get rid of the immigrants, but it totally doesn't fix at all any of your social problems on your resources and your, like, this number of people here is the number of people in the UK. Yeah, I can't even remember what the number was now. 50,000 in hundreds of thousands, right? And 50,000 immigrants a year come in. So if I delete 100,000 immigrants like that, it doesn't fix any of your social problems with any of your resources, because you've still got all these people needing the resources and there's still not enough. The immigrants aren't just, they're just like icing on a cake that make it look bad, but there really isn't that much of a problem. I don't know if you saw this. I mean, obviously probably did, but like, it's just bizarre the way they frame it. Like, these people are not a burden on our society. They are the thing that grows our society and makes it the vibrant cultural melting pot that can create and grow. And, like, you know, we wouldn't have anything if we didn't have people coming in and settling and sustaining. Like, it's bizarre. It's just bizarre. These are the same people who will quite happily eat a curry or a Chinese. Like, I don't always pick on the food, but do you know what I mean? Like, or like, think of some other. No, it's not just food, is it? But like, they'll quite happily engage with all the positive aspects of migration, but they won't accept that it's a good thing, and they'll just deny all of it because of certain negative aspects. And the negative aspects are what happen when you get loads of people who are in poverty and they're struggling. They're the big negative aspect. If you put white people in those tents, then they would do some crimes. I'm not saying all those people are doing crimes. I'm just saying, you know, if you put a load of, it doesn't matter what your colour of your skin is, if you put a bunch of you in a poverty situation, desperate, so you could remove some of those motivations by supplying people with, you know, housing and food and stuff. So, yeah, it's just bizarre, isn't it? It's absolutely bizarre. All of these arguments, none of them hold water and make any sense.
Historians will probably record the current migrant crisis as a chapter of busing migrants. This kind of coordinated, dramatic busing.
When they're saying this about the busing of asylums, what they mean is, in the past it was people sneaking across borders and stuff. Now we've got more organised charities that can, you know, facilitate humans not having to suffer. It doesn't mean we're busing them in. Like, no one's gone to like these countries and said, hey, here's a load of flyers, hand them out, we're getting people on the happy bus, drive them over. It's that when they arrive here, we've got better facilities for dealing with them now. So if we had like really good facilities, you'd be like, oh, well, you're putting them up in, you're busing them in and you're teaching them things and you're integrating them. Well, yeah, that's what we're doing, yeah.
Sanctuary cities. As of January 24th.
Instead of setting up like basically concentration camps and just letting them get on with it. Like,
absolutely bankrupt a state. And not only that, where are they going to put them?
That doesn't bankrupt a state like Texas, right? 148 million. Google. Alexa, what's the GDP of Texas?
On the 31st of December 2019, Texas's GDP was £1,372 billion.
Did you hear that? 1 trillion. A trillion. What does 1 trillion look like compared to, what was it, 100 million? 100 million. This is what Alan is saying is bankrupting. So, Alexa, what was the GDP of Texas?
On the 31st of December 2019, Texas's GDP was £1,372 billion.
Right. So 100 million there. Yeah. What was it we need to spend on the immigrants? Let's call it $1 billion. Why not? Because you can stand there and take off that one off the corner there and still have all of this. So it cannot bankrupt Texas to spend 100 million on anything. In fact, Texas can go to a party, buy everyone drinks, drop 100 trillion on the bar bill, tip the waiter 100 trillion. Sorry, not trillion, 100 million. Like, Texas can be giving out 100 millions on the way home to people in the street and sleep soundly in its bed because it's got fucking $1 trillion. Like, it's just absolute lunacy to think this. Like, if you look at this and you get angry about that and you think these things, you really have got your head in a bucket. And that's just the fact, isn't it? I'm not trying to be mean, but that's just the fact. Because that's what it looks like. So get your head out the bucket, you idiot.
War without proper permission. America, we aided and abetted them. UK, we must have done a deal that we would bear the brunt of this plan to flood us with Middle Eastern people and other people from around the world.
York and Los Angeles and San Francisco that claimed
we even looked at the statistics. Middle Eastern wasn't even the predominant, like, the ethnicities that came next to white were Asian, black, like other. Like, Middle Eastern is so tiny a sliver, it doesn't come up as its own statistic. Like, we're not being flooded.
And busing migrants to sanctuary cities and states. Sanctuary cities refer to a community with a policy, written or
another aspect of this is when people see immigrants in their local community, obviously a bunch of people all arriving at once, having to go and, like, you know, do certain things. They might not have regular routine jobs to go to. They might not have integrated into society yet. So you would see them on the street as a group. Like, you wouldn't, like, you know, they're not busy just living their lives. You don't not like, there's so many people you don't notice. Like, if you went out and did a straw poll who's in the street now, there's not going to be that many people out in the streets, are there? Because they're at home, they're watching their tellies, they're doing their this, they're doing that. If you've just come over in a boat, you live in a hotel and you've got fucking nothing to do, you might be out as a group, like, you know, finding the place strange, sticking together. So it just might look a bit different on the really zoomed in level, but, like, the reality is not what Alan is painting it out to be. I keep saying it. So here's Trump.
We can give them a lot. We can give them an unlimited supply, and let's see if they're so happy. They say we have open arms. They're always saying they have open arms. Let's see if they have open arms.
The actions of southern states have been criticized as a political stunt.
I think it's politically motivated. I mean, it's certainly not coming out.
And this is boring for Alan. This is Alan's watching some, you know, highbrow shit now. Is boring for Alan. He's not even bothered about this, is he? He's bored. What an awful episode from Alan. What an awful episode. That's 2022 in Washington, DC. So there you go. Some shots of a group of people all together. That makes it look worse. And he's mixing British politics with American politics, and that's what our politicians are actually doing at the moment. You know, our right wing and the American ideas are overlapping a bit, aren't they? But and this seems to work. It seems to resonate with people on the streets. You know, I'm not saying everyone's racist or, like, bigoted or prejudiced. Yeah, if it's against Islam and it's not against people of colour, then fine. Then you're just a bigot against a religion rather than a race. Yeah, but I'm not saying everyone's bigoted or prejudiced, but I'm saying it's easy to confuse and whip people up through media and other forms when there are actually poor people arriving on their streets, bussed in by the politicians that are organising. And okay, the people arrive on the shore, but as we saw with the numbers, there are ways to integrate them without having a huge problem. But no, we're doing it this way, and they haven't thought about it. 10 years, 13 years since, it could have been fixed. It's not. They want to push it into a conflict situation so that they can profit off the conflict. And the best thing we can do as people is to get rid of the politicians that are in charge now, because they're obviously doing this and making a problem. Like, they can't point at this and say, this is another thing that I don't understand really, is they're pointing at these poor people coming across the borders, yeah, and saying, right, well, this is a huge problem. You're going to have to get me in power and like elect me. Like in America, at least Donald Trump can say, I'm not in power now, elect me. But he was just in power a minute ago. In the UK, the Conservatives have been in power for 10 years. So if there is a problem, they are the ones that orchestrated it, and they have to fuck off and let someone else deal with it, surely. Like, it's bizarre to think they can leverage this into votes for themselves. In America, at least, you can argue between Republican and Democratic. Like, Democrats have been in power now for a bit, and Donald Trump can point at this and say, this is Joe Biden's doing, despite having been in power when it was already happening way back. Like, and it's not going to stop either. It doesn't matter who you have in power. There are going to be poor people who chance it to try and get across the border. Like, that's going to happen, isn't it? So, like, you can police the borders better, and you can deal with the people that come across them in certain ways. But you can't literally stop them. Big ups, Curious Cat. Thank you very much for the gifted tier sub. Thank you. You can't literally, you know, in order to stop them, this is like cause and effect stuff, right? In order to stop people wanting to come across borders, you have to go to the poor countries they come from and say, what are your problems? Why do you want to leave? And then people in their own country should rather stay than leave. And if they've got that problem and they don't want to stay, they want to leave, then you have to fix it at source, don't you? And that involves aid, humanitarian work, work with sometimes like serious war stuff to overthrow bad governments and stuff, doesn't it? But once you've done that, like obviously what we've seen, you can't just leave the country in a big mess. Like, and like we've done not very good trying to fix those problems around the world. But I think, you know, humanitarianism aid, stuff like that, like programs in the countries themselves to fix problems at source, so people want to stay there and live there rather than leave. That would probably be a start point, wouldn't it? Instead of just sink the boats. Because then the boats will just keep coming. They'll just find more sophisticated ways to get around the sinking. It's a bizarre thoughtlessness to think that we're going to fix this. It's like having like chicken pox and just putting cream on the rash every time pox comes up. Oh, I'm going to get rid of the spots, but never actually taking the medication to get rid of the spots at source. So it could be that we go to those countries and obliterate them off the map. You know, if you don't want any more people to come from, I don't know, Afghanistan, then you could just completely destroy Afghanistan and kill everyone there. That's an option. I'm not saying it's the best option, but it's an option. And then there are other options that, you know, from that extreme to anywhere else, there are other sorts of options, aren't there?
Another debt that's bigger than the Second World War with the immigration thing. Where's the money coming from? Well, what it is, we're getting poorer and poorer, and we're going to end up way below Russia and China and India. We're going to be in poor relations. We're going to be the third world, full of third world people and third world debt, and unable to run shops or business because we're surrounded by these immigrants that we no longer will have high streets, we no longer have law, and we have to stay in. And we've been super debt. Now here comes the crunch. The plan. Now, you know, I'm dyslexic and I see things. The plan I see is no-go areas. Now, we can't say, right, that area there, Birmingham, will be Muslim only. Can't say that. It's racist. So they use different terms. They've already started doing it in Germany and what's the other country? Austria.
There's a no-go area up by the Blues where we park the car before the football. We're going by Chili's there, sometimes have a curry. Like...
Have no-go area ghettos. That's what you're going to hear.
We have those in the UK. I'll tell you what, go up where Darren G grew up in Liverpool, L5 shout. You know, go and hang out there and mess about, Alan. See if you can go there.
Troops or whatever, so you can't get in or get out. But that's where we're going to put them. We can't literally have these hundreds of thousands of fighting-age men on street corners, can we? Forever. They're going to have to go into a compact, a ghetto. In my opinion, it's what they're going to do. Because why haven't they stopped it? Well, they're waiting for it to be explosion. Remember COVID? They couldn't just tell us to stay in. They couldn't tell all of you to stay in without something happening, right? We couldn't invade Iran.
Now, listen, I agree with this aspect, is that you could, and I'll talk about this in more depth in a coming up stream where I talk about how the security services work internally. But they could quite easily infiltrate these groups with a couple of spies and then whip up a bit of agenda so that they have a bit of a riot in the street. Imagine that going down your local high street, 30, 40, 50 immigrants walking down the high street kicking up a fuss. Then all of a sudden it's a really big problem. Again, it's only 50 people in a very small space, but it seems like a massive social problem that we have to crack down on. And they could easily use this. They put those people in those... it's easy to do. You just put those people in those hotels, you don't help them much, and you cause problems for them until they get angry, disgruntled, hungry, displaced, and then they end up kicking off, and you sort of provoke it as well. And then you can do whatever you want, can't you? And if you want to delete those immigrants, you can. It doesn't solve any of society's problems. It's like causing a little side issue for nothing, but you could do it.
I think it's going to turn violent. I don't know what week, what year.
And it will turn violent if people like Alan, provoke all this, get all the white people worked up, the white nationalists. We need them off the streets and cause. And then what will happen is those people that are coming in will feel threatened and vulnerable, and they'll need to rely on each other for support, or at the first sign of conflict they'll lash out because they'll feel defensive, and it'll cause this it could cause this sort of powder keg, couldn't it? But that powder keg, again, if it kicked off and blew up, it would only be a very small number of people amongst the massive general population. And whilst it would look like it's like a football violence thing. Like on the day of the football violence, there were massive riots, or the Brixton riots. It was a big, serious thing, lots of people. But amongst the huge population of the UK, it didn't really change anything. Most of us saw it in the news and just went about our business. There's no way that what Alan's describing could actually shift socio-economic factors in our country. It would be a spark, a flashpoint, shut down quickly, and then cause all extra political problems, to talk about forever. But
fear for my family and my grandchildren. I fear. Because you're not seeing it. We're like pacifists, right? Like Hitler, how did he take over the whole of Germany, right? Because people turned a blind eye.
What?
And he did it with a very small group. He took over Germany, a very small group of people.
It's not because they turned... No, right, this is really important. Hitler did not take over Germany because people turned a blind eye. He took over Germany because he did things like what Alan's doing. He pointed to a small group of people and said, they're the problem. These Jews, they're coming in here, they want to take over the country, they're economically all aligned to each other, they're going to sneak in, you're going to have a secret population of Jews, they're going to secret army of Jews, and if we don't round them up and get rid of them, we're going to have problems. And also, we should have just Germans, and Germans are the best, and we should breed Germans with Germans, and we should Germans for Germany, make Germany great again. Let's just have it was make Germany great again. It was Second World War stuff. It was after the First World War. Make Germany great again, and all the preaching that Alan's doing, all the preaching of the right wing rhetoric and all that is a repetition of what Hitler did to raise the power. What's his name? Farage was a mini Hitler. Boris Johnson's a mini Hitler. If we're not careful, we repeat the mistakes of the past. And what I mean by that, especially here, is we the people don't remember, because we don't know, because it's quite a long way away now. You don't remember exactly what happened, and we just fall into the same political minefield traps. And Alan is actually perpetuating that with his picture of Hitler up on the wall on a wonk. Fucking load of shit.
With violence.
Nationalism.
Extreme violence. That we're going to see on our streets because you're letting them in.
They were the Nationalist Democratic Party, weren't they? The Nazis. They were nationalists, Alan. So you're doing the same stuff here.
They only knew their family and a few
and
other
this, Alan, is why your ancestors that fought in the war would be think of you as a disgrace. They would understand, and they would think of you as a disgrace.
people. They never went anywhere. That's the original 15 minutes these were invented by, I think it was a Frenchman at the turn of the century. And they were going to adopt it. They say, well, look, if we put everything within 15 minutes of you, so your school, your shops, your hospital, why do you want to go anywhere? So what we're going to do, we're going to close down the streets for driving, gradually make it so you can't park anywhere. And then you can't drive anywhere, like it is in London now. And you'd be so pissed off, you agree to the 15 minutes.
So now amenities, convenience, and a sort of sense of localism, which is slightly different to nationalism, but it's like nationalism special, isn't it? Localism. But that's obviously they don't want globalism, do they? We don't want globalism. We don't want to be an all-connected. We do want to be in these small 15-minute local pods, because that's the opposite of globalism, isn't it? The opposite of globalism is nationalism, and then to an even more extreme point, Essex is better than Wessex is better than Sussex is better. Localism is important because we don't want to rely on, I don't know, like the south to provide our goods and the north to provide it. We want localism. Like, we're the most important. Charity begins at home. Like, once we've isolated ourselves off from Europe completely, why do we need to be connected as an island to the Scottish and the Welsh? And like, why don't we just start focusing on ourselves more? Nationalism, localism. Like, but you're an idiot.
You go, yeah, that's fine. And you get rid of your car and you ride a bike, or you just have a car to drive to school. And
that would be awful, wouldn't it, Alan?
it'd be great for climate change, wouldn't it? And now, mark my words, Scotland, you're going to get it. Don't believe me? Ask Ireland. They're quaking in their boots. They're surrounded by these immigrants. They're everywhere. Villages, everywhere. They're everywhere. What do you think the outcome's going to be? It's going to be violence, right? It can't be anything else. Because we're going to get fed up with it. And there will be bloodshed, in my opinion.
There will be rivers of blood.
And it is what a 15-minute city is, just so you know.
Subscription. This brand new subscription-free mini Wi-Fi.
Listen to
now,
this.
are you in favour of town planning that ensures your work, your shops, your...
Neil Oliver is very...
Let's just put it this way. Neil Oliver is a fucking clown. Right? He's on the telly wearing a funny little scarf thing in a denim shirt. Yeah? I mean, look at him. Now we're leveraging in Great Britain news, political thing about 15-minute cities. I'll tell you something, it's really frustrating, isn't it, to hear someone like Alan, white nationalist British, British, white nationalist, well, he'd say English, wouldn't he, not British, white nationalist English. Like, he'd agree with that, wouldn't he, because that's what he's doing today as his show. White English nationalist telling you about Ireland. That's good, isn't it? That's good. That's really good. Obviously, we had no Irish, no black. Was it no Irish, no dogs, no blacks, no dogs, no Irish? Didn't we? Like back in the day, and like Alan's suggesting that the Irish should like switch in. Like there are people in Ireland who are doing rallies now, suggesting like get rid of the immigrants, fuck them off. Like forgetting that they themselves were subject to that exact sort of racism, bigotry not so long ago. Like it's just fucking fucked. Like. If you don't remember the past, you're deigned to repeat the history, but you end up on the other side of it. We are going to cruise. Like, if these people have their choice, you could just imagine him in a Nazi uniform, couldn't you? And I know it's a funny, everyone's a Nazi, you always say the Nazis, but like, this is the fascists. These are the bad people, and we're allowing them to sort of have their ugly head. Like, it's almost encouraged amongst some sectors of our society who don't understand anything at all. So fucked.
Neighbourhood. But basically the bus gates mean you can have 70 passes to drive if you're local, 100 passes a year. But if you're not, you can't, and there's a ring road you have to go around. Slightly different in Bath, where you have a ring of steel, they call it, very lovely name, and you have low traffic neighbourhoods as well. And we've seen it.
Welcome to the modern world where people do not want high traffic neighbourhoods. Welcome to the modern world where people do not want all the soot, smog and pollution, where children are actually dying of asthma because of social housing too close to roads. Welcome to the modern world where literally it has heated up, so there are now problems. Like, we have to try and address them, and society has got an uneasy balance of pushing one way, falling the other, trying to fix things. The people that happen to be in the positions that they are at the time trying to do their best job, I hope. It's not that there's some sort of assault on your freedom because they want to reduce the number of cars in city centres, is it? It's not an assault on your freedom. So grow up. You can, if you want, just move. Like, all this immigration thing that gets on my tits about this is they go on about the immigration, they moan about it. If you're so fucking fed up with it, Alan, you're one of the lucky ones. You can sell everything you've got and just fuck off somewhere else. In America, there's all different states with all different ideas. There's also all other countries around the world. You might find one that suits you better. You can be the one that fucks off.
With the ULEZ situation. And our pointer together is that why we say free our streets, but also take back
Now it's the ULEZ thing. Now it's a political thing, a London thing. So here we go.
urban planning. What we need in terms of travel, dynamic trade, infrastructure, housing. You know, what happened to local authorities? The idea they would provide decent services.
Okay, so now we're just doing a ranging sort of political spin thing that doesn't really, like, yeah, let's juggle a few ideas up in the air that make people cross and let's just get on. Like, what are we doing now, Alan? Welcome to the Conservative News Party's, sorry, the Conservative Party's news channel. GB News should be shut down as far as I'm concerned. Or at least it should be rebranded as, like, Boris Johnson News Channel, and everyone should know exactly what's going on. Because some people seem confused.
It up, right? Soon it'll be shopping centres and town centres will be boarded up. There won't be shopping centres.
Right, well, that's an economic factor, and it's happened over the last 10 years of Conservative rules, so you can't give them any more power, can you?
And to close the roads, take away parkings, take away people...
And do you know why they're doing it, Alan? Is because, as I just showed a minute ago, a great number of Conservative donors are property owners, and Boris Johnson changed the rules about those properties. Oh, now you don't have to... if you were going to buy a property on the high street, it had to stay as a shop. You know, you've got to maintain that high street. But Boris Johnson changed the rules, so now you can buy it and turn it into flats. And so all these property owners can now move in and take on all this property and make more money. And they don't always want loads of shops there because they might want to just turn them into flats. So they get to do what they want. And fuck the people who wanted to have a high street. They can get their shopping done on the internet. Whatever's most profitable for the people who own the properties, eh? That's probably what's best.
It was a 3 or 4 week campaign that people stood independently. And as these low traffic neighbourhood impositions and as these 15-minute and 20-minute neighbourhoods that are basically...
You can fuck off with your shopping, go out onto the industrial estate and go to the big shop up there. They have shops, you can still go to them. The supermarket's got loads of stuff. Like, only certain places are going to maintain high streets because land value. Like, it's incredible to me, in Rome, for example, when you go up to the Trevi Fountain, that street up there, I mean, they are some posh shops like Chanel and all that business. But imagine the property value of a building leading up to the Trevi Fountain. Like, imagine the land value, the property value on that. Like, if you turned it into flats or whatever, imagine how much money it's worth. And it's a shop and people pay you rent. So the rent's going to have to be pretty fucking extreme, isn't it? Pretty high. Because it's land value. Like, otherwise, you could have millions of pounds for a city centre flats or whatever. Put 6 flats in it. Each flat can go for millions of pounds rented individually. Instead, you've got like a Boots in the town centre. And Boots is also out on the industrial estate. So the people who own the properties, all these property moguls, all these conservative people who give them the money, you know, the rich Russian oligarchs would rather have a lovely flat in this lovely place or put their Chanel, like only the top richest can afford to have those shops now. Or like, because you'll see it in your town centres, it's not a big money earner for the shop owners, is it? They have to pay these huge rents, they have these big overheads, so they end up closing down. So only the really expensive or the big outlet chains or whatever, you know, there's certain economic factors that enable you to be able to survive economically. But they pushed out all the small independents and, you know, small businesses and reasonable business, because they'll just go out to the industrial estates then where the big shop is, where next to the big Asda, won't they? Like, they've shifted it around, and the Conservatives have done that as well, because they're the ones that have sold and made money off the properties that used to be big vacant lots outside of towns, and now big property mogul properties earning the money for the big, put that out there, earn more money from the town centre. Restaurants, charity shops, hairdressers, and flats.
Within a 15-minute walk of their home, with all of the stuff of life readily accessible. It starts with talk of fines for driving your car too many times in a year and roads being blocked off. Is it for the betterment of people's lives, or is it just to get cars off the road?
Yeah, I mean, I don't want to defend the policies around Oxford because I agree with you in the sense that they weren't really implemented with residents' best interests in mind. I think there's cities all around the world, including parts of the Netherlands, states in the U.S., particularly cities like Portland, parts of Australia like Melbourne, Barcelona.
What's this even got to do with what Alan's trying to talk about?
In recent years, all of these different places have done this from the bottom up in ways where they trial different street designs that include more complete street elements, where they carve out protected bike lanes, they carve out bus lanes, they create raised crosswalks.
Right, the Americans in the audience wouldn't believe how bad things are in the UK, right? Birmingham Council's got no money, they're bust. Like, they've got nothing. And it's not just because they're bad at managing the money, but it's also because they get it's like, you know, the big government don't give them enough and put restrictions here and there, and then like economics then take their part, and now they've got no money. But like, isn't it interesting that like in America, I've seen it in action. Like, you can have projects where people are like putting public money into action and have like, let's test this in this one street, let's test it in another, like programs and stuff. And like we just, in the UK, that's been decimated. So yeah, interesting.
Economic distress, the fact that we can't produce enough goods to satisfy people's needs. This is like you'll go nowhere and you'll be happy.
A low expectation of humanity. Do you think that underscores?
Yeah, I think this goes back to your monologue, actually. That
No, you idiot people. What it means is, if all your amenities are local to you, your school, your healthcare, the shops, you know, restaurants and all that, then you'll be happy where you live. And then you'll have more freedom to go elsewhere. Like, people are still going to want to travel, aren't they? And when they get to places in the UK, they'll know that they'll be able to access the internet, the whatever, you know, within 15 minutes of an urban area. That it sort of almost sort of guarantees certain amenities are available. It's like just modernity. It's fucking ridiculous to argue against wanting to have all the things that you need in your local area. We've already sort of got that. It's just that some places are a bit more cut off and some places aren't quite as connected. You know,
it includes a lot of the environmentalist policies. It includes a lot of this sort of attitude from those who do have positions of authority in local or national government that makes them feel that they actually have the right. Because my first thought with these 15-minute cities is, who gave you the right? You have no right to do this, to limit the way that people can move around their city.
That is the question.
Well, they got elected. And they removed themselves from the European Union. So, you know, all those protections are gone. The idea, I don't know about this limiting of movement around your city, ridiculous, like, because you can't drive everywhere in your car, your freedom is assaulted. But the idea that everything should be within 15 minutes so we don't have to drive everywhere is a good one, isn't it? Like, when we had motorways and cheap oil and the age of the motor car, we decided to put these big long roads in and put your amenities along there. In America, it's very much like that. Big wide roads, places you can drive to on the big wide roads, because you've all got the big cars and the big wide roads. Now we're saying we don't want so many cars, big wide roads. Can we do this differently? Well, how can we get rid of the cars? We can have everything closer and more local and within 15 minutes, so you don't have to get a big car. All right. Isn't that an assault on my freedom? I don't know. I don't know if it is an assault on my freedom. What's going on?
Central government and the local authorities. It's not just one or the other. They have this approach, which is
See, no car, no go anywhere in the USA. I agree with that. But then you look at certain cities, don't you? Like, I don't know. I've never been to these places, but I imagine like New York, San Francisco, other places like where public transport's actually integral to the lifeblood of the city. You know, in New York, people use the subway. They don't. It's not rich or poor. People use it. Like, it gets you everywhere real quick. You don't want to sit in the car in the traffic, do you? Like, if you want to go down Route 66 and go somewhere, you can use your own car. You can go where you want. But like, when you get into the big urban areas, these 15-minute cities would be another example. Everything should be quite close. And what's the point in getting in the car to drive to Dunkin' Donuts to then drive to, like, you know, like, you might just want to just hop on a little tram or something. So, like, what they're saying doesn't, like, in the future, you would hope that things would be more. What these people want is to go backwards to a world where everything's quite far away. There's only one big hospital in the big city, and if you can't get there in time, you die. Sorry, they don't deliver pizza where you live.
Declaration. Thanks for.
That's what's coming.
And it was accelerated. Listen, it was accelerated. I'll pause Alan quickly. It was accelerated by the fact that we had COVID and people realised that you didn't have to all go and work in offices and you could deliver a lot of stuff and your restaurant business could still survive if everyone didn't come and sit down. Like, you know, there was lots of businesses that thought they might go back against the wall. The government obviously subsidised a lot of it, didn't they? But we learned that we could live a slightly different way, and it was actually quite. Like, before we were forced to, like, this is like television having this monopoly over you, so they make you watch the intro sequence and then the adverts, and then when you get the internet, you're like, I don't want to watch the television anymore, it's shit, I want to watch things how I want to watch them. Like, before, we were going into the supermarket and doing all our shopping, and now we had COVID, a lot of people switched to getting it delivered, didn't they? And it was like, it took a bit of a push, something serious, to make people try it, but once they tried it, a lot of people liked it. We have more Uber Eats than ever before now. So it's just the way of the world changing a bit.
But George Orwell, right? Here's the thing. Wrong thought.
George Orwell, referencing 1984, not understanding that the Conservative Party represent the boot that will stamp in your face forever.
Orwell's world, you could be arrested for wrong thinking. It's called the wrong thought.
It's not called the wrong thought. Oh, you make me... I'm glad it skipped that automatically for me because I tried to pause it, because it's not called that. It's called thought crime. I hate you.
You may laugh. They wouldn't eliminate you for the wrong thoughts. Yeah. You upset the wrong people, whether it be a DA or a police force or a person. If they got enough money and power, they can eliminate you from YouTube. Don't believe me? You've noticed how many channels have been eliminated from YouTube the last year?
You didn't get eliminated from YouTube for thought crime.
Mainstream media are taking over YouTube.
This is doublespeak.
BBC, CNN, GB News. Taking over YouTube. They're all moving their newspapers from the news agents to YouTube.
Alan double plus not good.
The Times Radio. You don't see it? Talk. TV. YouTube.
Double plus not good.
BBC. YouTube. In a minute, you won't be able to find people like me. They'll be so far down the list, they don't exist.
It's because you're shit and no one cares and you're a dummy.
And they're all being demonetized.
Demonetized.
I know I can't say monetized because I'm dyslexic. Monetized, right? They stop being paid because they go, right, we're not going to pay you anymore. We're going to put adverts on your channel. We're going to pay you anymore. That's the end of you, right? If you don't give up, then they go, well, I'm afraid your channel's eliminated and chuck you off. Wrong thought, wrong comment. Now you will see channels disappear that are talking about what I've just talked about tonight. If someone talks about this two-tier policing and the fact there's too many immigrants, they're going to be eliminated. I promise you. Not yet, not this week, some week. And if you will see anybody that talks like I do end up with...
Has he got inside information or is he delusional?
BBC, right? At one time, I was getting 2,000 people watch me in my life.
Once.
And I'd look around the channels and people like...
Because you lied and said Chris Watts was going to come on, show Nicole Kessinger's bikini.
Get 2,000. They can't have that. That can't be right, because the trouble was I was telling the truth.
No, you weren't. You were telling lies.
Friends in chat were saying there about there's a few channels that are telling the truth on YouTube at the moment. Yeah, they are. And they get many views. Because we know what's going on is wrong. So people that are saying it are getting loads of views. They're not going to last. They're going to be eliminated.
Eliminate.
Wrong thought.
Wrong thought.
You have to have the right thoughts to survive on YouTube now.
Thought crime, you idiot.
You may not see it yet, but it's going to grow. Until they control free speech on YouTube, they won't be happy. I myself will pawn in the free speech debate.
Pawn?
They can make an example of me for...
You're not an example. Things. No one cares.
Look what happened to him.
Look what happened to you.
Well, I won't talk about that here. But I will talk on Patreon. I'm going to have a cup of tea. I'll see you in Patreon in 20 minutes.
Come on then.
Patriotic people.
Patriotic people.
I'll see you in Patreon. Thanks for watching the Armchair Detective.
I'd rather put my balls in a toaster.
And I'm sorry to bring you the bad news, but Wrong Thought is on its way.
Wrong Thought. You idiot. Sorry to bring you the bad news, but Wrong Thought is on its way. He signed off perfectly. Right, you chuffers are going to have to find me the Patreon then. Send out the feelers. Send out the feelers. If you want to watch it, you have to find it. Someone has to Discord me it. If you send out the feelers. Is Grumpy Grannis awake? Does she know anyone? Someone's good. If you want to watch it, you have to send out the feelers. But I'd rather put my testicles in the toaster. I just fucking hell. I don't know what he's going to talk about. Hopefully, like in the Patreon, it will just be like, you know, fun. Hopefully, it'll just be fun. Look at all the viewers drop off immediately. It's interesting, that, isn't it? I mean, people will just leave, but they all just went bang. That was weird, isn't it? I'm still here, one viewer. But literally everyone, I mean, people do leave quick because it's finished, but that quick, all at once, like that, you just saw them all tank down. That was weird. I wonder how many are real. I really do. Fuck, that was bad. All right, once again, I'm going to say this one more time because that ended up on the edit then, didn't it? Well done. Enjoy that on YouTube, you chuffers. You keep getting more. More. So come off it. Here we go.
And while I'm talking about what I think's going wrong with the world,
which not this.
A reset and a moving the world's population from the third world to our world, like moving it around so it's...
Actually, it's kind of funny if he's going to do conspiracy reset conspiracy, because that is full flat earth nonsense.
Races. I don't know. Successful, when I say successful, there's places like Saudi Arabia and that, but they're dictatorships, aren't they, in a way? I don't know of a Muslim country that is established without oil. I don't know of a Muslim country established without oil that is doing okay, do you? All they seem to do is kill each other and bicker and fight. So what I was going to say is that about YouTube, I believe since YouTube were bought out by Google, they're restricting free speech to a massive extent. Right? When it was YouTube, at least they had a woman there in charge, I can't pronounce the name, Zawaski, who used to listen and say things like, I'm going to put a stop to hate crime. There's going to be no more hate on hate creators. Well, she never did it, but she spoke.
Put down your ham sandwich.
They're not even saying that anymore. They're not even saying about anything like that. They're not saying about protecting anyone. What they're doing now is protecting the wrong thought. Wrong thought is saying things about COVID or immigration or politics or anything that's not leftist and it's not like left-wing woke. They will close you down, right? So they're protected to do what they want. YouTube what they want. They literally threw me out in a whim, right?
They're a private company.
That's not constitutional or anything, is it?
They
eliminate people.
They don't have a constitution.
Because they don't like what you're saying.
You signed
without any redress or any
terms of service.
Why? That's power. Now imagine a telephone company. You use your telephone, right? Years before we had mobile phones.
This is great.
Imagine a telephone company say, right, you're not allowed to say that on the phone. We're taking away your telephone because we don't like what you're saying on your telephone.
What?
That's the original free speech, isn't it? Telephone line.
Yeah. No.
Why can't YouTube be like a telephone line?
What?
Free speech.
You have a telephone.
Now, if you have a telephone line and you arrange to kill somebody and it's recorded, you'd be arrested, right? I agree with all that. But I don't like this big brother wrong speech. Google saying, I don't like what you're saying, you are eliminated. I don't like that.
Because you got eliminated for using hateful slurs.
So I want them all to be the same as phone companies. They don't tell you what to say. Phone companies never will tell you what to say. But these buggers do. They're restricting our viewpoints.
Alan's quiet, is he? This is his microphone.
Twitter can target conservative accounts and ban them. They do that. I promise you they do. Basically, YouTube are there now to limit free speech and control us. And there are thousands of channels being closed down or demonetized or taken away. They're hypocrites, aren't they?
He's doing a script.
Oh, we don't like what you're saying, but it was okay what you're saying.
The thing is, one of those women in his chat has written the script.
Face fact, censorship has never been fair.
So she's already read it.
And that's what it is, censorship. Free speech on YouTube is about to vanish. Nancy, man, Nancy.
No.
Very mean. Hello, Nancy, how are you?
$100.
I'm not talking about what's tonight, but it's lovely to see you. And
she gave him $100.
The end of free speech and me being thrown off YouTube by a thing called Google, which is a monster. Where's Nancy? Google, all right. Where is Nancy anyway? Let's get rid of AD. Yep. Eliminate.
Where's Nancy?
And they eliminated me because all they're going to do is find enough people to report you, and they have an excuse to eliminate you, don't
Why
they?
do they give him $100? Pity party.
YouTube will
Idiots.
demonetize me. They will take it further, take away my support. Thanks, Nancy. It's not about copyright, right? It's not about copyright. It's about what you say. And in the Watts case, certain channels are targeted and certain other channels weren't targeted, right? That's censorship, isn't it? Who's pulling the handle at YouTube? Go on, who's doing that? I haven't seen one channel disappear that promotes Nicola Kessinger is innocent. I don't know one channel that says Nicola Bully.
Thank you,
Nicola Bully. Nicola Kessinger, all she did was sleep with a married man. I don't know any channel like that that's been thrown off of YouTube.
Why would they be?
Or hunted down like a fox.
A fox?
By an army of centralized hate channels. They don't get the hate, do they? As long as you say Nicola Kessinger, leave her alone. It's fine.
She can come
You
around
can
my
say
house.
Shanann was involved and you left alone.
Nicole Kessinger's coming around my house for a kissy and a hot tub, Alan.
You can't say Kessinger needs questioning.
Kessinger, I'm going to question her. I'm going
You're
to sexually
surrounded.
question her.
I'm disappointed if you do.
I'm going to sexually question her. I'm going to put her through a right sexual
And it bugs me
interrogation.
that Google are going along with this segregation. On a little tiny 1K spaces. That they're allowing this destruction of free speech. It's weird, isn't it?
Big up Army Girl Officer.
Who's got the power to do that?
Who's got the power to do that?
Who's got the power to decide which Watch channels were allowed to stay and which ones have to go?
It was Sue Wozniak, wasn't it? When she put down a ham sandwich.
And what are the ones that have gone all got in common?
They're all
I better not say
assholes.
anymore. But there is a common thread. And I thought that nothing. Well, it was YouTube, it's fine. YouTube just stonewall it all and say, it's an agenda. You're not getting rid of AD just because you don't like him. You can't get rid of a person because you think he's morally wrong, right? If you think I'm morally wrong, then good luck to you. But I'm afraid that's not an offence.
What?
What is an offence is doxing me where I go. Doxing me my address.
You doxed your own address. You put it on the internet yourself.
It always put me in a bad light. and calling me a crook and a con man.
You are a con
when
man.
I'm no different from any other YouTuber.
You are different. You're not on YouTube for a start.
That's
AD's sexual deviant. AD's a con man. AD's a crook.
Last
AD
week
was
where I
taxed.
was doxxed where I was with a relation of mine who took me away.
We all knew you went to Coventry because the
He took me away for a few days to another city.
Thank you.
And they doxed me where I was.
We didn't dox you. The people
Don't dox
announced
somebody.
it.
Don't dox people
On the
who you create hate against.
The
'Cause if
commentary-
anything happened, you'd be blamed, wouldn't you?
on the YouTube channel
If
for
that
the
happened to me in
poker.
Malta when I was doxed,
Your son was
they'd
on the
have been arrested,
leaderboard.
right? If anything happened to me in Coventry last week,
Commentary, yeah.
they'd have been arrested.
What if anything happened to you?
But until somebody does something, they're not arrested, so they think it's fine. It's not fine.
Were you scared?
I've collated it all, and I'll be presenting it to the courts. They think they can get away with it. Okay, keep thinking that way. I'm looking quite good tonight, aren't I?
No.
How's that look?
Oh,
What do you think, Nancy? I'm looking good, right?
we got a profile.
I don't know why. Sometimes, occasionally, I get the lighting right, and I've got shading on my face, and that I look younger. I'm not so fat. Can you say fat these days? Well, I'll probably be arrested for saying fat. I don't know, YouTube. YouTube will ban you the minute you play a Beatles song. But they let you create hate against a human being night in, night out, night in, night out, night in, night out.
YouTube will ban
Create
you.
hate against a human being, call them a P
You
or
pee.
any other things, fantasies they make up.
Stinking pedo.
And that's okay. But you can't
Nancy.
play a Beatles song.
Nancy
You're
chops.
thrown off in 10 seconds. Yeah. You can hate me every night of your life. To the extent where
Hey,
I'm really
dude.
disturbed mentally. So I'm really messed with my head. I'm really, really, really in a bad place. But that's allowed.
This is not
And
intended
I
to cause
thank
anger
you
and
people
command
that
stress.
reported them. Hasn't done a thing, has it?
No,
So there's the difference in YouTube.
you got banned. You got banned.
They don't care about me or little people.
They don't care about you.
They're
You got
scared
banned.
stiff
They do care about little people. They
of,
protected them from
big
you.
companies.
Protected little people from you. You got
Is it going
banned.
to get worse
Banned. Oh, they got
or
banned.
better in the future?
Like the Beatles, they're banned. You got banned.
Well, if I'm talking about YouTubers saying hateful things,
Hey, dude.
that depends whether YouTube wants to allow free speech on their website or not.
You did get banned. Take your sad ass and just
And they
fuck
can hide behind
off.
free speech to let these troll channels maintain their hate.
Maintain the hate. Maintain the hate.
YouTube isn't censoring hate speech.
Censor. Hate speech
It just
censor.
censors what the company doesn't agree with. It's not censoring hate speech. It's censoring what the company's decided they don't agree with. Now, you might say to me, well, you're free speech. You're saying Nickel Kessinger's got to be questioned. Yeah, I am. And I say that's free speech. But you'll say, the trolls will watch me now. The trolls will say, well, that's hate speech towards Nickel Kessinger.
No, I don't think so.
And yet you're telling us not to do hate speech against you. Nickel Kessinger was on Netflix, was mentioned on Dr. Phil,
Right.
was in a major case.
A major
reported
case.
around the world, was in the Discovery Files,
Mm-hmm.
was a witness come possible suspect.
What about when you called me a...
I'm just someone talking about the case.
What about when you called me a batty boy?
There's a million miles difference. And I'm not saying Nickel Kessinger is this, that, or the other. I'm saying she's got to be questioned. They're saying about me that I'm a sex offender and whatever else they make up about me.
It's not made up.
They can say what they like. They said last week I spent £2,000 on a poker tournament last week. I didn't.
Well, it was 1,300 buy-in.
I would never spend that much on a poker tournament, even if I could afford it.
1,300 buy-in, and you have
Yet
spent
they're
more than
allowed
that
to
before.
say it. Misinformation and lies. They're allowed to do it.
Allowed to do it, yeah. You're the liar.
But it's never deleted. You can report it as, report that as misinformation. It's a total lie. I never spent a penny.
Who
I was
put the
just
money in
watching
for you then?
my relation play. I wasn't in the tournament. I was watching.
Yeah? Did you play any
But
side
I get
hands? Did you
accused of
play any...
spending £2,000. Yeah, I tell you that I'm broke, but I spent £2,000 on a poker tournament. I don't have £2,000
No, it's up to 2,000.
to my name.
You spent it all on the casino.
And yet they're allowed to express it.
He obviously
I can't do anything about it either. And it's all about free speech, I suppose. But they can say things that are hearsay about me, right? Hearsay. That I could take them, if I had the money, I could take them all to court and win. Easy. All right, you said that I spent £2,000 on a poker tournament last week. I didn't. You've damaged my reputation. I'm suing you for £5,000 because it's a lie. And I'd win.
I'd do that then, wouldn't you?
And I could do you 1,000 of those. But I haven't got the money to do it.
Oh, but you'd have the money if
they're
you did
allowed to lie about me.
Pay for the next
It's not
one,
like I don't mind criticism. It's downright lies. I'm not allowed. I don't mind them speculating about me. Oh, he's wrong about Nicole Kessinger. Nicole Kessinger definitely wasn't involved. That's fine.
Look, Nicole Kessinger
That's
needs
fine.
to get her brown
Criticise me for that.
bikini over to my
Don't
house.
make up lies about my own life.
Me
That's
and Nicole
totally different.
Kessinger, kissy brown bikini.
My life is not their business, believe it or not.
Me and Nicole Kessinger, kissy
They
brown
make
bikini.
it their business, and they dox me and put me in danger.
Put
and
my
they
willy
think
in
it's
your mouth.
okay because I'm not human. I'm not human.
He's
I
thinking
can
willy
be
in the
lying about
mouth.
it.
He's thinking about it. He knows.
I wonder how they would like it.
It's psychic because he said and put and dox me.
I
And
wonder how they would put up with it.
put my willy in your mouth.
Family. How would they like it if I accused one of them of being a P?
Well, I wouldn't. You couldn't have. What would you say? You just say
What would
it,
their
and then it'd be
family
that.
think of that?
Well, you'd think you were an arsehole.
No evidence.
With no evidence,
proof.
exactly.
There's nothing you should do on the internet. You should never do that on the internet. You should do it with the police and
Right.
show the proof.
Why
How
shouldn't
would
you
they
expose
like it
people
if
on the
I
internet?
did that to them?
I've got
Their
evidence.
grandfather.
We've got you singing with kids on Smule.
What if I
Mother
did
licks
it to
cunt off
your-
daughter's face. We've got loads of stuff.
And any particular troll.
We've got this. You
That's
said
about
this.
40. You got
There
that's
is no
about
child porn on the
65,
internet. I hate to warn you that.
What
There
would
is
you
no
do if
child
I
porn
was
on the
your
internet. I
grandfather
checked.
or your
If you were
father?
my grandfather, I'd shop you to the police. I'd
You'd like it, wouldn't you? It'd be lovely, wouldn't it?
take you
It'd be
down
fun,
the
wouldn't it?
police.
You would cry. You would kick up hell. And I don't blame you. But it can be done to me because you're all working in the same team. It's almost like, I don't know, like some
Gang stalking.
cult of hate. Like, get the
Cult of
vinegar,
hate.
get the vinegar.
Yeah, but you've got the
Vinny
cult.
Scott, let's lock him up.
You've got the
Put him in
cult.
prison.
Your little- They're the ones who've
the
manipulated
claimant.
in cult ways.
I've got him quoted as saying he wants me locked up till I die in a cellar beneath the Old Bailey, right? So I've got it in, right? I've got it in, I've proved it. I've got it all for the case. All his quotes I have. Taking me to court for slander. I've got all his
He's
quotes.
called this. Listen, wait. He's called this AD's Sunday Sermon, and he's talking to a very small group of people who are completely indoctrinated by his rubbish. He has the cult, and he's actually afraid because we did a series about cults on Thus. He's afraid of being exposed for you employing ideas that cults employ to try and manipulate their people. So he's throwing cult around at other people in case it comes at him first.
Your accusations. I have no criminal records.
Yeah,
Some people have got criminal records.
I haven't. But also, I haven't done bad things like you.
So
You just got away with
for
them.
3 years now, I've had a fund raising money to destroy me. 3 years. Imagine that. Imagine that yourself. You had
Fundraising
somebody
money to
raising
destroy
money for
me.
3 years to take you to court, the Old Bailey in London, for 3 years.
Shut
and
up.
destroy your life. If they already destroyed most of your life by making you move house twice, by destroying your livelihood, which was YouTube, and by setting up gang warfare on me,
All right, Baker Man.
doxing where I live. If that wasn't enough, you've got a fund being raised for 3 years to take you to court for slander.
Alan, you published your own address on your Patreon.
When all I've ever done, at the most, is at the right to reply. That's the most I've ever done. I've never sent anybody a message. I've never threatened anyone. I've never sent them an email. And yet I have to put up with all this crap on a daily basis. And I'm not even earning any money on YouTube. I've even got one person, they got me off YouTube and they're showing me every night on YouTube. That's clever. Clever. We got rid of AD, now the family can rest Well, I'm on YouTube every night. But that's okay, is it?
Not every night, Alan.
That's okay. It's okay to use me to make money, isn't it?
Money, where's my
It's okay to
tippies?
use him to make money.
Come on, somebody.
It's okay to use him to get clicks. It's okay to humiliate him on YouTube. Look at me, I'm nearly 70. I've looked after myself. I've had a great life. But the ending, the final chapter, this is cruel. What's happening to me is cruel.
You're a laughingstock on the internet. You've done it yourself.
Unnecessary.
You've pissed your own pants. It's your fault.
I've never known a family try to destroy somebody on YouTube like they've done to me.
Mother licks cunt off daughter's face.
I've seen many murdered people. I've seen many murdered families speak. I've never seen this.
Mother licks
Absolute hatred of one person.
Mother licks cunt off daughter's face. Smule.
And you people that set up channels to hate me, you should be ashamed of yourself.
Once
I'm
you
not
were
doing
7
anything.
Once you were 7 years
Why
old.
do you ever talk about the What's case?
Once you were 7 years old.
I don't get super chat. I don't have members. I don't have funds. I don't have anything.
Collaboration room with
Yet you
kids.
still go on and on and on and on. This is where he is today. This is what he done. This is what he made 5 years ago. This is what he's made at poker. This is what he's doing.
Ago?
This is it. Get off.
Get off.
Get off.
Get off. Grifter. Sad. Pathetic.
Anyway.
Loser. Grifter.
Must be very, very annoying for him to see Nancy give me $100.
It was a bit. I'm like, what is she doing? Oh, it stick right in my
really
craw. $100 puny so you can piss it away on the Sky bet
I've
tonight.
took me 6 weeks collecting tippies to get $100, and he's done it in 5 minutes. And he's not even on YouTube.
Alan, we're not gonna get into.
That Nancy must be crazy. It is true that there was a survey, and I
Is
think
he
it's
really loud? He's choppers. You got me making him
of
loud.
all people that are on YouTube watching now are unstable or on drugs. Or
What's he on about? He's laughing because it's a lie.
It seems to be a strange place to hang out YouTube, but we loved it. We're our community of nearly 100,000 people, man.
Pathetic. You didn't.
It took 5 years in COVID. 5 years in COVID to build that community that could meet every night in that chat
And
and
only
talk to each
a
other.
couple of people turned up on your streams by the end.
exchange everything with each other. And it felt like a real community. And they took it down in a flash.
You ruined it.
Someone said so.
You ruined everything. You had a golden opportunity,
It's
and you
for life.
fucked it up.
And every day I get up, I miss YouTube. I'll be honest with you, I miss it.
Good, because we
I miss the
kicked you off
community,
it.
It's not about like the money. It wasn't getting paid much. It's the community that we like had a great community.
And now everyone hates you.
And I lost my mission in life, right?
You don't have a mission in life. You're a pathetic
At
nonce.
my age, do you need a reason to get up?
You
When
go to bed at
70
4 in the
or whatever,
morning,
you have
5 in the
good days
morning.
and bad days, right?
Yeah.
Well,
You have bad days and bad
my
days
show
now.
at the night gave me a reason to get up.
Well, I'm glad you don't have a reason
and
to get up.
organise and plan and look forward to.
You shouldn't have that because you're a
needs
bad
hope, man.
person.
Everyone needs hope. What's life without hope? And it worries me that another YouTuber that was shoved off of YouTube is no longer with us. It worries me on what they go through or what they go through. I know I've gone through.
Listen,
What do they go through?
You're trying to pretend to your audience that
Where does it take them?
but she didn't. She had a disease.
I think it's ironic that none of the troll channels have been taken down.
Some of them did.
That's ironic.
Bam Bam got taken down. Sheila got taken down.
People that all they do is make hate videos about people
They got taken down.
haven't been taken down.
No, they did.
How does that work?
Lying again.
Nancy's 2 weeks older than me. Yeah, I'm not old. But, you know, starting to feel, as you get older, like it's like a car, isn't it? Things start to go wrong, isn't it? I fixed my leg. My leg's fantastic. That's fantastic, my leg.
Where's the pity coming from now?
That's one big thing. But I think
I can't
Taking
believe
away
she gave him
people's
100.
channel takes you. And if it's your only thing, it takes you to a dark place. It's like if you live alone. Where's it gone? Where's it gone?
Yeah, we've ruined it.
Like
It's
a
gone.
family member, isn't it?
You've ruined it. You've ruined it. We helped
And
you
I'm
to
reading
sink it. It's
terrible
gone.
things about. Oh, I can't say it, about this person that's gone.
Lisa Lee sent tippies. Hey
Big ups,
Alan,
Lisa
you might
Lee.
be happy with $100 from Nancy, but Scotty loves these 3 quids LOL. He appreciates us, and we appreciate him XXX.
This is true.
Super Chuffer owes 3 hugs.
I'd rather have a load of 3 quids than one big 100 off Nancy and be desperately trying to fish Nancy. I'd rather have a load of people that were like giving little bits than one person just like that I was desperately trying to cloy onto. Yeah, absolutely. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
I don't know what 1,750 people. It's okay.
No Cadillac, no perms you can't see. I'm just
Oh, you told me my knees are as good as new. They are.
Thank you for the
Anaphylaxis,
bitties.
You were right. My knees are fantastic. The only thing I can't do is bend right down.
When I'm
Which-
doing a sex crime.
I can't do that very well. But walking, I walk for miles now.
I can get my hand on.
It's good.
Walk for miles.
I went through so much pain for so many years, right? You know when you're scared. I tell you this, I've never been under the knife, so I was scared to do it, right?
Oh, we knew you were
I got as far
pathetic.
one day in Western Hospital, right? Western Hospital. We went for a preview of the knee operation. Should never have gone. So I'm there with these 20 people that were due to have the knee done.
We've
was
heard
like
this one before.
6 years ago.
He
7
left.
years ago. Western.
He bailed.
Mayor Hospital. And they got out these knees and showed you what they're going to do. And then I started talking to people that had the operation. And 2 of them had real bad experiences with it. But I think the bad experiences were that they didn't do the exercise afterwards, and that's why it didn't work. I think that's why it didn't work for them. And then during the interval, we had a cup of tea, right? So this was the pre-op. And I went through all the rigmarole and we had a cup of tea interview. I ran away. I went at the back door, got in my car, I ran away.
Coward.
No, I never told anybody that before.
You did, you told us before.
Pre-assessment clinic.
You did tell us before.
I did a runner. I was because I've never ever been unconscious, touch wood. I didn't want to go under the knife. I didn't want to be unconscious. I was scared.
So your knee must have been bad. You ran away.
So they give me a epidural, was it? They give me an epidural when I had it done. And I was awake, sort of. Was I awake? I don't know if I was. I could hear the saw. I could hear the saw. I didn't feel anything.
Oh my god.
And it's the best thing I ever did. But I escaped. I tell you what I did as well, I scratched my car. Scratched my car. I was in a hurry to get out. I scratched my car.
Against
It was
what?
awful.
Whose car did you damage?
And then in the end, it got so much pain.
Good luck with your channel, son.
In the end, I got so much pain that I had to have it done.
Thank you very much for the
Because of
subscription.
walk. And every night, my knee would wake me up. Say hi. It's like, you know what rheumatism is? It's like
Hype train now.
rabid tsunami of rheumatism in your leg. So it's every night you just can't.
This is bizarre.
The best thing I ever did was have it done. She's right, anaphylaxis. She told me.
He's done this story before as well.
But anyway, so that's good. My knees are good. That's good.
He told us he never told us
It's just
before,
I've
but he
got
told
this
us.
man in America raising money for 3 years to destroy my life.
Now he's chill. He's off the.
And
He's off
doing
the
a very good job of
script.
it. My life is pretty much destroyed financially. I can't destroy my links and my family. You can't destroy that.
My links to my
I've
family.
destroyed most things.
What does that mean?
Can't afford things anymore. I can't go on holiday. I can't go and play poker big tournaments. I can't do a lot of things.
Thank you for the gifted subscription, Red Fan.
But I've got to find another way.
Links to
But
his family.
The realization is you can't get back on YouTube. It's for life.
Yeah.
It's for life.
Life. Ever.
My God, I've got scratched. Have I told you that story before, Worst Man?
Yes.
I think I might have told this story as years gone by. Did I tell you? What year did I tell you? Yeah.
When you had your
I
knee
must have said it
done.
before. I never told the whole story.
You were on tramadol. Remember, you were all fucking hopped up on goofballs wearing your blue
Yeah, for
Chelsea
life, it's
pyjamas.
overkill, isn't it? Imagine being a 20-year-old who gets like eliminated from YouTube. You can never ever get. I can't even get Google services. I can't even get ad block. I used to pay premium, so I wouldn't get all ads. Right? I can't even get that. They won't even let me have that. It's like you don't exist, man. It's like you're off.
You're off. Win-win-win. Win-win-win.
YouTube will get destroyed by Elon Musk. I'll get a reprieve. I'm waiting for Mr. Musk to buy out Google and give everybody an amnesty.
Unban you. You're waiting for Elon Musk to buy Google and unban you.
It was for life. Until afterwards I realised. Not only did they not tell me why I was banned, they just go, that's it. That's not punishment, is it? That's like destruction. And it's led to a lot of people ending their lives. YouTube are responsible for a lot of death, either by letting YouTube channels, hate channels, send somebody to an early grave.
Who's Emma? I don't know what you mean.
Or destroying whole communities and destroying creators who can no longer face being alive without YouTube. And it happens over and over and over and over again. Either bullied to death or cancelled to death.
Cancelled to death.
Oh, they're proud of themselves.
AD.
Never do it to me, because I've got a life beyond YouTube. I have a family I love. I have a number of things I enjoy doing, thank God.
Oh, you dirty pervert.
But I'm very sad
Can I get
to
that
see.
bit back again?
Never do it to me, because I've got a life beyond YouTube. I have a family I love, and I have a number of things I enjoy doing, thank God.
There was something else he was going to say there. We could analyse that a bit more deeply. I'll do it.
But I'm
I
very
want it
sad
back
to-
again.
Never do it to me, because I've got a life beyond YouTube. I have a family I love, and I have a number of things I enjoy doing, thank God. But I'm very sad to see. I don't really talk about the person that's no longer with us a few weeks ago, but it did shock me. I didn't realise she was only in her early 50s as well. This is like, and I don't even know what happened to her. I just know that she's no longer with us. And I do know that the funeral parlour is getting pranked. The funeral parlour where she is,
How would you know that?
Is getting prank calls.
You're doing it.
That's how sick they are, these trolls.
I think you're doing it, aren't you?
They're so self-righteous. Oh, clutch their pearls. Oh, AD,
But how
you're
else
so
would he-
awful. And they do something like that to a deceased person.
Yeah, but how would you know
Send
what's going on at
messages
the?
to a funeral parlour.
Why would you know
Deceased
what's going on
person.
at the funeral
Because
parlour?
hate them that
You?
much. Terrible.
Has it been posted somewhere? It's a bit weird that.
Yeah. At least Nancy Storm gets messages when I'm on here. That's good. And you are the you are the entertainment. They all hate you because you're not leaving me.
Thank you, Alan, for reminding me I need to tippy good show tonight, Sewer Chuffer.
There's my Nancy.
Super Chuffer owes 50 hugs.
Thank you very, very much. Thank you very much.
Torchy,
There's my
Torchy.
Nancy.
Yeah, Torchy. That.
Thank you.
I remember Torchy when I was a little tiny boy. I used to love Torchy. Torchy the battery boy.
Thank you. That's my Nancy. See, Alan. Now stick that in your pipe and smoke it, you chuff head.
Still watch me. We're
Thank
getting AD off YouTube. And as soon as he's off YouTube, we're going to film him and put him back on YouTube to torture people. We're going to get him off because he's torturing people, and then we're going to put him back on to torture people.
To torture you, maybe, but it's not intended to cause you alarm nor distress,
People
Mr.
don't like
Winnecombe.
you.
You
Who
don't have to
cares?
watch.
They're not your friends, are they? You don't
It's just fair
ever
comment
care
on
what they're
YouTube.
gonna say. It's just when they're malicious lies, you know. Malicious lies.
Thank you, Stippy. Stippy's has been with me since before everyone watched any of my content, so,
anyway. But
they've
don't
seen a
worry
bit of a
about their
journey.
opinions. I worry about the fact that they got me off YouTube. Or did they get me off YouTube? I don't even know why I'm off YouTube. I see other people on YouTube that have been removed for hate speech or whatever. But my rap sheet said I was breaking many terms of services. It was mine. Whatever that means. I don't know.
My rap sheet.
I don't know where the future holds YouTube. I just hope someone comes
God,
on and beats YouTube.
You think I'd what?
I hear that TikTok
Oh my God.
is going to be thrown out of America soon.
Is it?
That'd be interesting, wouldn't it?
Yep, where will all the kids go next?
I don't even know whether YouTube have got a right to throw me off YouTube. You know, like, they can't phone you off your... I was saying about telephone. They can't throw you off your telephone service. Oh, we don't like what you're saying on your telephone. You're banned forever for life for using a phone. That's what it's like, isn't it? Have they got the right to do that? Probably
Yes.
have. Do what they want.
Yes.
Right, I'm going to bed now, guys.
Is that it? That was
11
Patreon.
Early. Happy Mother's Day to all you British mums.
Fucking hell.
I know it's not Mother's Day in America, but it is here still.
God.
And happy Mother's Day to all the mothers in heaven, especially, you know. That's a terrible thing. But, you know, Mother's Day, you want to make it a special day for your mother.
Pity party.
And they're no longer with us, right?
Make it a special day for your
But
children.
it's still their Mother's Day, right? So, you know, it's a day to think of your mothers.
By keeping away
no
from them.
longer here as well. Well, when you get to my age, it's highly likely that your mother is now a mother in heaven.
Fucking hell.
I like seeing my grandchildren now giving their mums stuff, you know, Happy Mother's Day, Mum, and they're little, right? They give it that Happy Mother's Day.
Did you see that today,
It's
did
lovely,
you?
isn't it?
Did you do that today, did you?
It's like a whole new life again. When you're old, you got grandchildren. It's like, I don't know how can I explain this.
You like kids?
When you're 18 and you got your first love, your heart skips a beat when you see them, or you feel happier with them. When you're old and you got grandchildren, you got so much love for them, you know.
What, like when
Got
you're
so much
18
love for them.
and you wanted to get
'Cause
laid?
The thing is, with grandchildren, you can hold them, cuddle them, but you give them back to their mum and dad and say, "See ya." So you haven't got all the hard work, only a little bit of hard work, but you got all the glory, all the
Glory?
those first, and then babies, youngsters never cease to amaze me what they say. I think, wow, how did you know that? Like they're like 3. My little 3-year-old grandson does me, "Oh, Granddad, I went on an obstacle course yesterday." I thought, "You're 3. How do you know what an obstacle course is? And how can you even pronounce obstacle?" But he did. And then he had this sweet, right? He had this like sweet that, you know, the kiddie sweets in a long bar thing. And he tried eating it, right? He goes, "It's like concrete, Granddad. It's like concrete." And I'm going, "How do you know what concrete is at your age?" But what he meant was it's really tough to eat. So he goes, "It's like concrete." And that is a joy to me. I might sound stupid to you, but that's like a joy to me. Yeah. Grandchildren are fantastic. Like I said, you got to have a reason to get up in the morning. You got to have hope. Life's no good without hope. I think a lot of people die because they don't have any hope anymore. They say that you can, like, pine away if your partner goes, you know, like, because you just don't want to live anymore, and you can like shut down. I don't know.
This is so fucking
That's what they
morbid.
say. You know, or you've got some illness that is so painful.
What's he doing?
That you just shut your body down yourself.
Cheerful patron.
I believe in that stuff because you've got no hope.
Oh my God.
What is life without hope?
Very bleak, Alan.
And I'll leave you with that.
Leave me with that.
I have much hope. I have much hope to get the other side of this court case and be okay and try to pick my life up after that. But until that's done, I'm living under a cloud.
And also we can
Still
hope
raising money. They're still raising money to get me now today.
we can hope that Elon Musk will buy Google and unban
How
you.
would you like that for 3 years? Good night, and thank you for being my patrons.
Lovely bedtime story there. Life is meaningless without hope.
Happy Mother's Day, Mummy.
Mummy?
I know she's watching.
What?
For 3 years.
What was that at the end, Alan?
Good night, and thank you for being my patrons. Marvellous. Happy Mother's Day, Mummy. I know she's watching. for 3 years. Good night, and thank you for being my patrons. Marvellous. Happy Mother's Day, Mummy.
His little face for his mum. His little face. He said, Mummy. Oh. You want the one it ends on? I like this one where because it's immediately as he thought of Mummy, and then he pulled the little his little smile. You want the one it ends on?
I know she's watching.
That one. I like Mummy. Bloody hell. Alan is a shambles. An absolute wreck. Mummy. Oh, yeah, she's definitely dead, yeah. Like, you know, obviously his mum's dead. I'm not going to, like, go heavy on his mum being dead. I'm not going to, I didn't, you know, I left it when he was talking about his grandkids, but, like, fucking, what a shambolic mess this man is. I want to be on YouTube. I wish I could be on YouTube. YouTube's rubbish. YouTube's awful. Like, they took away all my money. I still got money. He said, I'm all right because I've still got my family and connections. And what he means is there's some sort of financial supply going on with his family, isn't there? Like, there's some, like, you know, behind the scenes that we can't get to. He doesn't mean I'm all right in my life because my family... Well, in a way, he might mean this, is that he can't, like... Because his son is not going to desert him, even if he got caught on Smule singing with kids or whatever, he's always got this, like, sort of safety net thing. Like, the rest, you know, he can go to the family for Sunday lunch at Easter. You know, he's got a social group. You know, he's got that to rely on. But no one else in the world will talk to him. But we weren't able, I say we, you know, we weren't able to break his bond with his family. And it might be social or it might also be financial or whatever sort of, you know, thing. But he said his family, and he said something weird about it as well, didn't he? So that was interesting. But what he's basically said is that's all he's got in his life. And he can't go on holiday, he can't do this, he can't do that. He did go on holiday, he did go and play poker, so he can do those things. But what he means there is that after the court case, or when, you know, the impending court case, if he does these things and shows this spending, it's going to go really badly for him. So, no, he's in a difficult position. And as he said, he's waiting to get the court case over with now. Now, he even said at the end, I'm waiting to get it over with so I can get on with my life. So now it's not going to happen, and it's never going to happen, and you can't fucking do this, and I'm going to win. Now it's, I just wanted you to tell me how much trouble I'm in, and work out how much money I'm allowed to spend every week, and how much money I'm going to have to pay you. You know, that's what he wants to know now. So he's lost everything. He's dishevelled. Like, he got eggy about being caught out in Coventry. Like, he knows it's always good. It's like a cycle routine, and he uses it to try and grift his audience, to try and make out like it's a big deal, like the police were involved. And actually, he just felt ashamed and a bit sad because he didn't have anyone to talk to in Coventry, like, because no one wants to play with him and be friends with him. So, like, with poker, you can pay your way into a social group, but other than that, he's got his family and nothing. And like, he's kind of a lucky man, really, to have that family stand by him. Because if I was, I'm sure there are members of his family that, upon seeing the stuff with the Smule, like, are still questioning whether he's telling them the truth. Because we know about the truth is that he was actually singing with the kids on Smule, like the collaboration room. So, yeah, it's been a weird night now. It's been a big night of Alan in a way, hasn't it? He just threw that out on a Sunday for us, that I can get that uploaded. Fuck. Do you know what? In a way, it felt like he was angry about not being on Nutter Watch yesterday. We basically said he was so shit all week and he didn't even feature as the main nutter. And he's like, I want to be the main one. They talk about me on YouTube. Well, we didn't talk about him on YouTube yesterday, did we really? We talked about a few other people. And he didn't like that. He wants to be the main one. Well, he's going to have to pull his fucking socks up. Alan Johnny Knoxville. Wait, where's the Johnny Knoxville picture? Alan Johnny Knoxville. Fuck is that? It's half. The dog's right barking at that. There was a pop then. It's half 11. Unless someone's like got shot by a shotgun. Like, we don't have pop-pops. 11:30 on a Sunday. But it's Mother's Day. Maybe someone did a firework. It's an insult to Johnny Knoxville, I know, but Alan won't even know who he is. It's just funny that they look similar, like that he looks like he's dressed as someone else. Because as well, when you think about it, I'll tell you what's funny is today's stream. I advertised it with was this with these two? Look, that was yesterday. So we've got that, and now we've got this. Like Alan's doing cosplay without realising it. Check Discord again. All right.